Greetings, everybody. Just here to give you some short feedback. We're on week 4, business strategies. So just going to go ahead and dive right in. We're not going to get too deep into material today. I just want to touch bases with you. And so my hope would be that you watch these short videos when they come out midweek, give you a little guidance on where we are. So the first thing I'll do is share my screen and head on over to our course material. Unit 4, or I should say chapter 4, is all about trying to find value. So it's titled competitive advantage. And so the goal here is trying to figure out how are you going to create a product that is going to compete in the market. So you think about your business model work. We're going to try to have to dig a little bit into the numbers to figure out how that is going to be the case, right? So I need you guys to look a little bit further into what that entails. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up not our case, I'm going to pull up our assignments page. I'm going to look at module 4 business plan. I will say in module 3, a lot of you did really well. Some of you still need to try to figure out the connection between the chapter that we're on and the material you're going over, right? So in chapter 3, the whole point was external analysis. And so you need to try to figure out those external factors that were playing into the things that I was asking you to do, like a SWOT analysis, like in industry life cycle analysis. And so a lot of you were able to talk a little bit into the particularities of how you would imagine your business flowing. But what about the external factors, like larger ones at play? Like what about economic forces? A lot of you didn't mention many examples of things that might impact your business from a larger economics point, right? Like if we were to go through a recession, is your business very recession proof? Would it actually maybe grow during a recession? Not very many businesses do, but some do. And so that would be an example of that. So here we're going to look at a funding request, okay? And then I want you to make a kind of begin an income balance sheet and cash flow statement. And so I'd really like to see that in doesn't have to be in Excel, but needs to be in table form, where you're making kind of an estimate of what money will look like. And so in the end of my response from the last business plan project and project 3, I told a lot of you, I said, hey, listen, I want you to create more of a numbers identity right behind things, like how much are you going to sell things for, and what's going to be maybe some examples of that. And so I know we're kind of going to be making up numbers at this point, but I want you to prove to me that you can make an income statement, a balance sheet, a cash flow statement. And there's some really simple guidelines here that kind of go through on this, right? And these are things that you should be, they honestly should be reviews for us, right? Tell us what our revenues are, expenses, tell us gross profits, explain that what earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization means. Ultimately get down to the brass tacks of things, okay? Furthermore, give us some examples of what your balance sheet might look like. I know this is all just made up numbers, but I think it'll help us get the idea of what this is. So we'll turn the page now to our case study in chapter 4, all right? And our case study 4 is actually case 5 in the text, but I think it aligns well with this idea of what we're going over here, all right? Where we're looking at competitive advantage. No better example of that than this isolated examples of the car industries. And so gives us a lot of the history of the automobile industry. It talks quite a bit about international companies and domestic companies here in the United States, like Ford and GM. And it tells us just a little bit about what it takes in that field, right, for companies to develop an edge over each other. And it talks a lot about Toyota and what they did to create market share during that time. Even the text brings up those things. So I just want to remind you, if you are reading through the textbook material, if you're trying to apply it to the case studies, if you're trying to apply it to this business plans, and if you go over to our discussions, if you were putting thoughtful effort and to tell us a little bit about what relational coordination means, and then giving us peer interaction, you're probably doing all the things that you really need to get an A in this class. I don't think the quizzes are too hard. I cherry pick those questions based on what I thought would align best with the material that we're going over. And for the most part, a lot of you are doing fairly well on those. I would say tardy assignments are the thing that are killing a lot of people and putting them behind, just to be honest. So I would, of course, add the statement, like, if you're not doing everything, it can really hurt your grade, because even if you give a best effort, you still be able to turn things in on time. I'm still going to give you I'm going to give you a grade, right? And a 0 out of 48 for an assignment really is not going to look very pretty for you. So all that being said, y'all, if you have any questions, or if you want an extension, or if you want to talk to me about deadlines, or maybe making some work up, all you got to do is email me, or you can text me at the number I've been providing you. Look forward to that. I always, I don't get to make much interaction with you, right? Because it's the nature of an online class, and I don't like that. So I don't mind it. I really do my best to try to check my emails at least Monday through Friday in the mornings. And of course, I'll respond to a text message at any time, as long as I am awake and near my phone. So I hope all things are going well for you. The semester's flying by, y'all. I mean, we're 4 weeks into our 8-week class. We are halfway to the halfway point, and it does speed up from here with Thanksgiving getting mixed into things. But I mean, let's face it, you'll be done December 10th, or the first couple weeks of December, and be able to take your break then. And so keep working hard, keep doing what is asked of you, and I think the results will follow. Thank you all. Have